We'll do a video on the floor. Okay. I'll move this out of the way. Maybe the iPad. Whoops, got to tip over. So anyway, working on this today. Working on my nuts. Putting my nuts on my rod. They call it all thread in the United States. So anyway, so this fellow is quite a unit. A lot of fun to play with. Play in, and boom. Nice sound, isn't it? Switch at the back here. Now watch this while I turn it off. Nice sound, isn't it? I don't know what that is, but oh well. Clutch comes on soon. Very good. Can't get any better than that, can you, huh? Well, it looks like you can't quite see me today, right? Right. And I'm on the floor. I was out in the sun for a couple hours. With the garden hose, it was around almost 90, but garden hose kept me cool. Isn't that cool? I think I should put this somewhere where you can actually see me. I don't know. I'll work up you. Up here, up there, down there. Over here, maybe. Oops. Nothing there. I'll tilt it up a bit, I guess, huh? Use this. Looks like a face. Oops. Always a surprise, shocked look on these things, right? Right. That's okay. Well, I was working on the floor anyway. I got my nuts on my rod. Is this comfortable for me? No, I don't know. But anyway. So, what should I talk about besides motors and rods and nuts and things? I found out how violent internet people are on the topic of 9/11 World Trade Centers. They have their own theories, and if you knock it, they get really upset. So it's an interesting, if you go to Psychology Today and look up denial of 9/11, you'll find some interesting psychological information on those kind of people. So politics and religion, as my dad once said, never talk about them. Okay, I'm not going to really talk about it too much. Good to see Alex Jones finally got busted. Sandy Hook never happened. I mean, these people are dangerous people, psychos. Really, really weird, warped people. And denying the truth in 9/11, that's sick. All the people that got hurt and injured and killed, and all this stuff in the aftermath of the paranoia and disease, the formation of Homeland Security and all the Nazism that followed that. Pretty sad. Anyway, I'm gonna go there too much. I'm gonna sit over here now. Gotta move my nuts around. So I got how many nuts? I got all these big nuts. I think this looks cool. I should make something that fits on your face. They have a thin wire that holds it up and goes up in your hair, and then because you gotta have a mouthpiece, which is one of these. A little bit fat for my mouth, but these are really a good bargain on eBay. And then I got a bunch of them. Because I'm making that hydraulic press for the big red 50-ton hydraulic press, although I 1-inch threaded rod, I don't know about that yet. Depends on what quality the metal is. After all, look at the 50 caliber Browning that blew up in the guy's face on Kentucky Ballistics. Check that out. Holy Jesus, snapping arseholes. That was scary hell. And it's on video. He talks about it quite often. Simply had a threaded breech. You screw on the cap on the end of the where you put the chamber in. The thing, hot round, blew it. I think it was 90,000 psi. But he does a lot of good stuff with his testing stuff. Anyway. So, what else should I talk about, huh? Something has gotten mentioned, but oh, it doesn't matter. So, Gabriel put me in admin to the Hudson Effect investigations. I've already blocked and banned a number of ranting lunatics. Now, mind you, the internet to me is just a bunch of subspace chatter. But it's a good communications mode of things, you know. Easier than ham radio, I suppose. But there are a lot of flaky people out there that use it, including me. I'm as flaky as they come. Let's see if I look tan burnt. Nothing much. Do I look sunburnt? I feel something red somewhere. Of course, hello? Oh, that's a weird angle. I didn't have any clothes on when I was suntanning and nobody saw me, so I got away with that one pretty good. Trying to organize this over here. My head is blocked. I got a block for a head. Chip off the old block. Yeah, it works. It gets rid of all the brain pickers. I might get rid of my YouTube channel too. I don't know. It might just go. But I'm trying to upload to Rumble. I'm going to upload all the good stuff to Rumble. Censorship is not in my cup of tea, you know, not in my world. Spread those chops. So, should I talk about something ridiculous? We're talking about Alex Jones got busted on weird. Deny Sandy Hook. That's a supreme case of a lunatic. Denying 9/11 and planes crashing. That is a sign of a mental illness as well. Or loves John Searle. The fake people that have nothing, that take these customers for a ride. It goes to show you how religion was formed a long time ago, how it grew into a monster, how people kill each other over nothing, over delusional stuff they make up in their head and publish. Truly amazing. Humans are the most dangerous species probably in the universe. Could have been more other dangerous ones. John! The man said in the Drexel Rooms, 5 West Hastings. You got nice hangers. I mean, so, how do you call it? Amorous? Amores? I really enjoyed that encounter. Whoa. Whatever that was, huh? A meeting at the Nuts and Bolts factory. Gotta talk gibberish or Talked like an Enigma machine. So the censorship all over the place, huh? Oh yeah, I was reminiscing. I think it was second or third floor. He's the gentleman that said I had nice. He liked to play with them, and these things are metal. And I loved every second of it. Good old Amarays. Wow, woohoo. It doesn't bother me because I know that a lot of this is born with a little truth angel in my head. A lot of this prohibited stuff or taboo stuff is just made up religious garbage. That's it. It's good to have your Amarays excited. Many times I've had, let's say, fun. Addiction I love. Oh yeah. All over the map of that one. Men or women, doesn't matter. The Drexel Rooms. Anyway, that's where I went to after I left West Lawn Building from Riverview or Essendale. Got my dad to pick up all the radio gear and all the firearms I accumulated while in there, which were kept under my bed and then kept in the pharmacy. I got all those back to my parents' place, 3045 Crescent View Drive, North Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, Edgemont Village. As well as then I moved from the Drexel Rooms to 1458 East 29th Street, North Vancouver, British Columbia, Lynn Valley. And I picked up all my radio gear and guns at my dad's place and put them there. But Drexel Rooms was maybe, I think, 2 weeks. Skid Row, the worst possible situation, which I learned a lot from. It was fascinating. I went to the Easter. I mentioned this before in another video, but who cares? I went to the Easter dinner for the homeless folks. Next to Drexel Rooms is Pigeon Park, a notorious area for people who are just laying around drunk or on drugs and things, and that was the predator area of a mass murderer in Canada. Pickton, Willie Pickton, as you might have read in the news and all that. That was not too long ago, and the trial, I think the trial was 2007 or something. But a lot of people went to Piggy's Palace in Coquitlam, British Columbia, and the RCMP would interview people. Where I'd go to the surplus store, they interviewed Colleen and interviewed Wes, they interviewed others. Never interviewed me, they didn't even know I existed there. Sitting on ammo boxes, RCMP come in and start talking, and I'm thinking to myself, geez, Willikers, man, I'm sick of this. Shouldn't this be a private meeting, not me just sitting here? I don't get it. I think I got it. I like being invisible. I really like being invisible. Anyway, again, Pigeon Park. They estimate perhaps 70 missing persons from Willie Pickton. And there was a newscast by the provincial government saying, don't eat the certain sausages may contain human remains. I mean, this is terrible stuff, horrible stuff. Anyway, let's drop that topic. It's very negative and stupid. So anyway. So I'm waiting for Bob Greener's latest new video. Had a nice chit-chat through emails with Marcus Reed, who's a scientist in Germany and Munich who's developed a power battery, which he should get funding and it should be put on the market. He's been working on this stuff for years. a real, honest, truthful gentleman, scientist, and deserves stuff. So if I find anything that in my collection of material here for him, I'll send it to him. Because I know I got those receipts from Sirac and Goodfellows on the those discs I had made to power with barium titanate. It was an interesting oscillation effect and an idea I got off of HMCS Saskatchewan, a warship, one of the warships I took apart. Had containers of these unique, weird crystals in the sonar room, and the sonar was called Jezebel. I remember that name. I think it was. But anyway, that was, and that's when I was making these power cells for the Japanese and German folks. I got an idea, and I read some handbooks and manuals. There was thousands of manuals left behind on these Navy ships, and they would explain everything about the cannons, guns, ballistics, countermeasures gear, the electronics, what was in the electronics, what their function was, and mention these crystals as a self-resonating thing, much like sound-power telephone stuff, you know. It's got its own power source. Anyway, I gotta check on what time. How long is this? Because I gotta get going soon here. Anyway, if I find that info, I could send it to Marcus, and I'm going to mention to Marcus too today that by email that all that information in the Navy ships, some handbook manuals, that should have been all saved and archived somewhere. There's a gold mine of information on vintage stuff. Well, up to about 1990, the electronics. I use the books to repair some of the electronics I have here, because what they do, the Navy would bugger up some of the electronic modules and some of the sensitive equipment. They would leave the whole piece there, but bugger it all up. Well, they didn't realize down in below decks was a storeroom with all the unique spare parts. Everything brand new, and that really came in handy repairing all that stuff. It didn't take long to repair. The modules screw up, throw another one in. So, also we found a bullet one time on one of the Navy ships. I think it was Mackenzie, or was it Columbia? Oh, anyway, whether Yukon, Saskatchewan. No, it had to have been Saskatchewan, I think. It was a bullet for it's a 3-inch 50 round, and they turned it in, but they thought about, you know, doing a fire, because I found brand new parts for the cannons, like breech blocks, firing pins, parts and pieces that they also buggered up a little bit. They were very heavy pieces. Could have got that running and had a lot of fun and get arrested and thrown in jail. However, we did have fun with C4 explosives at nighttime, testing it on the decks and things, because the ships had to have been sunken as an artificial reef. Wanted to see what the results are, and the metal being separated. So my job was to close all the watertight doors, wait, all clear, okay, open the doors, examine the evidence. It's pretty impressive stuff that happened there. Anyway, a long story. That wasn't allowed in New Westminster, but we got away. It's secret squirrel stuff we like doing. A lot of people I know do a lot of secret squirrel stuff. Especially in this day and age, there's a lot of secret squirrel stuff going on. I ain't got to mention any names, I mention what it is. I can go take a dump somewhere. My job description. Barbara! I want my hot chocolate. Barbara! This is my hot chocolate. That, by the way, I put a link in one of my videos. That was The Twilight Zone. I think it was called Simon. Had starring Robbie the Robot from Forbidden Planet, who played a part in there. And Simon was an old man who was always grumping at his niece or cousin or daughter or somebody. Always saying, I want my hot chocolate. Barbara, I want my hot chocolate. Barbara. Anyway, check it out. You might laugh. girls must stick together, mustn't we? Anyway, I should get going. I got things to do. Question for some of you morons out there. So, why do you think somebody from a different country is bad? Hmm? Some of you are prejudiced, of course. And really, I notice so much of this nonsense with brain dead people. They come up with these conspiracies, about certain people. And they haven't got both oars in the water, okay? So that issue. What else did I notice about silly people? Yeah, of course, different religions. Or somebody's, let's say a gay person or a straight person. It doesn't make any difference that's natural. It's always been natural. Your little God, whoever it is, made it a sin or some stupid thing, and you programmed to hit upon people that are gay. It can be a woman, or it can be a man. It can be a man going into a woman, or a woman going into a man. It's all natural things. It's just that media covered it more. It's always been around. And people like you, I'm referring to the lunatics, not you, but the lunatics that might watch this, if there's any. I know you're all good people. Because most people are super good people. Let's get that out of the way right away. But there are a small batch of rotten people around the planet. Every country. And prejudice. It's a big old fat orange man. The orange man really was a prejudiced person. A real sicko, psychopath person. He's crazy. They're all nuts anyway. Most politicians, but a small percentage are okay, but most are power-hungry people that like to write up laws and regulations and screw people around and take money and do secret deals and that. So anyway, I'm going to shut up now, because what's the point of even talking about it? You got your mind made up. Oh yeah, so you got concrete exploding on the floors of 9/11 of the towers. Okay, 4 inches each floor, 100. Let's just call it 100. Oh, we doing 100, 100 inches, 4 times 400 inches of concrete exploding, pile driving its way down to the bottom. All the beams come falling down. A pile of dust comes up, and dust tends to stay in the air longer, and paper flies around in the air too. So, I'm going to leave the topic, because you people got your minds made up. You don't care about anything except yourself and your theory. John Searle, you worship that poor guy. And a bunch of other lunatics that have no business. I'm going to say it. Bob Lazar is a fake guy. He's always been a fake guy. Just amazing how the same old song and the same old dance program you people into something. Should I be a psychologist? I would probably could do it, but no, I like my junk.
Hi.
Oh, yeah. Oh, let's do something here. Let's forget about what I said. It doesn't matter anyway if you got your mind made up. We got somebody here. The Iron Man.
Hi, Doctor. How are you? Oops, wow, wobbly. A little wobbly in the brain. Oh, I got another iron. La la la. Hi. What's to do with you? Huh? What?
Oh, who are you?
I'm Mr. Nuts.
Not hangers, right?
No.
You got your eyes kind of messed up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hi, John.
Hi, Nuts.
How you doing, kiddo?
I'm a doing. Hey, you and I could start a TV show called Nuts and Hangers. You'd make a good, have to do a little remodeling of you, but you'd make a good character.
Would I make a good character?
I think you would. Just a little more practice.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so let me get going. I've got some chores to do. Let's see if I look red. Let's see.
Uh-oh.
Kind of getting there. There's some piles of rods on the floor there. Anyway, I better get going here.